The US job market right now is trash. I don't know what is going on with the United States, but right now we are having a major unemployment issue. Between jobs laying off, jobs firing, and jobs not hiring, the United States is doomed. I don't know if it's just me, but all of my friends have been either getting laid off or fired. Most of it is because the companies are not making enough money. And some, not all of it, is from these new tariffs that Trump imposed. So in an already dying market, we're gonna tax the companies more. I really feel like sooner than later, the US market is gonna completely crash. And everyone but the rich are concerned right now. I really don't think people realize how deep and how bad this is actually getting. Right now, the unemployment is on the rise, but also the price of everything is also on the rise. People are not spending money, they're not going out, and they're not eating as healthy as they used to because it's just too expensive. So that's gonna cause small businesses to go out of business, restaurants to lose money, and major inflation. Can this be stopped or is it too late? Tell me what you guys think.
You're telling me I've wasted so much time trying to find a job in America on LinkedIn and Indeed when I could have just used MigrateMate? All of the companies on this website sponsor work visas or have sponsored them before. There's over 300,000 open jobs and you can put in a location, a job, the visa type. Wow. This website just gave me so much hope.
Alright, so I'm going to be flapping my ever-living gums away yapping, so if you're not interested, keep scrolling. I'm seeing a massive trend right now on social media of people, young people mostly, but of all ages groups, complaining about the job market. It is as bad, if not worse, than what you're hearing and seeing. I got laid off about 34-ish days ago. I have been actively searching for employment every single day. And to be fair, I've had more luck than others. I haven't had formal offers of employment, but I've had a couple that they probably could have been. We just didn't quite agree to terms. That happens. But I have two instances in particular, which I'll go through very quickly, that I want to talk about, okay? The first one is the roughest one I've ever had. So to preface, I'm a veteran of the United States military. I have my 4-year degree. I'm fluent in 3 languages. I speak German, Spanish, and English. I have some pretty good intangible skills. I would say I'm decently hireable. And on top of that, I work in aviation, which is, highly specialized, right? So definitely experience matters a lot. And I worked aviation in the military. So I have over 5 years of relevant experience as well. Anyhow, I had this interview at a different part of the country. I'm not going to say where. It's a massive airport, though. You definitely know what the airport is. You've probably flown through it before if you travel. But I live in the Southeast. So, I had multiple interviews online, like web interviews. And they said, hey, you're a finalist. We want to see you in person. I was like, all right, well, you guys are going to be okay if I end up getting selected, then I'm going to have to relocate, right? They're like, oh, yeah, no problem. We understand. I was like, okay. And then secondary, aviation's huge, right? I've worked mostly Department of Defense, so I'm not as experienced in commercial. And I made sure that was okay and that they would be interested, potentially still in hiring me, knowing this. And they were like, oh, no problem. You have transferable skills. You have relevant experience. And I did it as a civilian as well after my service. So no problem. I was like, all right, cool. I go in there, have the interview, and it's a pretty normal interview. I'm a confident and pretty collected person, so I know it's definitely not a nerves thing for me. Not that I don't feel them, but I usually do pretty good in interviews, even if I don't have the answer to the questions. And I had some questions that came my way, and I honestly didn't have good answers. And I told them, I was like, hey, I'm sorry, that definitely is something I'm not as familiar with, right? So I'll cut the chase. I didn't get the job, and that's fine. I understand that happens. Look, I'm not entitled to employment, and they are not mandated to hire me, right? Once the interview was over, they didn't give me an offer. They said, oh, we'll call you back in a few days. So I already was like, all right, I'm probably not going to get the job, right? They never called me back. A week passes, nothing. 2 weeks, nothing. And at this point, obviously, I knew I didn't get it. But I was like, I want closure. So I called them, and I was like, hey, what's the status on this? The woman was aggravated that I even had the nerve to call to get a status update. They had hired somebody and he had started already and they hadn't sent out rejections yet because they might change their mind, is what she said. I have never heard of this. Now, during the background investigation time, that's a thing, I understand. But holy shit. It just came across as not very professional to me from a pretty big organization. And then the second one's not that big a deal. I'll just make it quick. Had another job. I was a front candidate for it. I had multiple conversations with HR. They told me it was going to be available like a month from actually now. And they would call me in for an interview as soon as the hiring manager was ready to actually have the interviews with the people they selected. And they said that I was in that pool. I didn't hear anything, and I called today, and they got back to me within 20 minutes and said, oh, actually, we already hired somebody. This is, and I get it, it's life, right? You don't get every job, you know. I'm not going to get into the hundreds of jobs I've applied to at this point. You know, that's not an exaggeration. Look at the video of these people, and if you manage to watch my video and you're here, let me know what your experiences are if you're going through this. And for my older viewers, this is happening. Don't listen. Us younger folks, we're not lying to you. All of us are going through this.
My parents will never understand that this is the only way to get a job now. I've applied to like 200 jobs. And look. She's using this app where you literally just upload your resume and just shows you jobs. And if you want the job, you swipe right and AI literally applies on the company website for you.
To the newcomers, wale jamaa mumefika United States right now. Just know hiring is at a very slow rate at the moment. Usifikirie utafika hivi. Yeah, party itaweza kuwa, but just know hiring has really slowed down compared to 2-3 years back. Yeah, you apply for a job, employers are not really ready, they are not quick to call you. Yeah, there's a time you used to apply for a job and then immediately, even before you leave, 2 hours later, they are calling you, scheduling for an interview. But those things have really, really slowed down. Listen, people are not quitting jobs. It's another thing. People are not quitting jobs, which means there's no open positions for hiring. You know, the economy is trying to be in the state of equilibrium. Therefore, things are tough out there, and the people are not trying to joke with their jobs. They are not moving back and forth. They're just trying to stick into one job. The interest rates are also a little higher, which means, you know, taking loans, you know, for businesses or for the consumer to spend out there, that increases hiring. You know, that one has, you know, made it a little difficult. Yeah, because when there's cheaper interest rates, people tend to borrow more to spend out there, at the same time creating jobs. Yeah, therefore, just, you know, things that you should pay in mind in this 2025. Yeah, there's decreased hiring. People are not quitting jobs. Interest rates are low, are high, I mean. Yeah, those are exactly what's going on right now. Therefore, if you have a job, just try to behave. You know, try to behave. It might take a little while. Other wale mko hapa US, you know, to get hired for another job, and you know, most people depend on the paycheck. Yeah, another thing, you know, especially in the nursing, you know, employers are preferring new grads. You know, when you tell them you have a 20-year experience in the field, and someone has 2-year experience, you know, you are going to ask for more money for 20-year experience, and this 2-year experience here is going to sometimes get lesser or new grads. Therefore, employers are not really into 30, 40 years of experience. They are into cheaper labor. They are onto cheaper labor. Those are the things that you should know, especially those who are coming from Kenya right now. Uko kwa nyumba, uko stuck kidogo, wondering why am I not getting a job so quick the way they said. Those are the factors that are affecting employment. Otherwise, thank you.
It's not you. There are no more jobs. And the few that there are, you're competing with 5 million other people, and they're requiring that you offer up your firstborn and already come with 45 years of experience.
The job market is really tough right now, and it's even tougher for those who need visa sponsorship for their jobs. But if you use MigrateMate.co, it makes it so simple to just find visa sponsorship jobs. Check it out. The link is in my bio.
Can somebody tell me what is going on with the job market? Because I'm at a point of crashing out. It makes no type of sense. I've applied to like over 400 jobs, and this is no exaggeration, within the last 4 months. I've managed to have at least 5 interviews, and then they responded with, oh, we moved on with a candidate with more experience. How would I get the experience if y'all don't hire me? And then on top of that, AI is killing me right now, yeah. Level entry jobs are being given to AI. So it's like I'm sitting here with a master's degree. I'm starting my PhD in literally 4 months. What's the point of us going to school if AI is taking over? It don't make no type of sense. I'll be so upset. I want to crash out. The economy is bad. How the hell do y'all think people pay rent in this economy with no jobs? And now I see why people really be doing what they do. The job market is disgusting. It's insane.
Well, it's official. The job market in 2025 is cooked. Well, officially, it's frozen. Did you guys see this latest article from LinkedIn? It shows that job openings are the lowest since November 2024. It started to rise the last few months, but now it has dipped. On top of that, you have hundreds of thousands of layoffs that are continuing to happen. So more and more people are getting laid off, and there are less and less jobs being posted. And let's be honest, I'm not even sure how many of these job openings are real jobs. Seems like companies are posting a lot of ghost jobs nowadays. Now, this shouldn't be anything new to anybody that's been following my content. I've been saying for months and months that the corporate job market is brutal. We are seeing companies shrinking. We're seeing companies lay off and replace people with automation and AI. On top of that, companies are not looking to expand. They're not looking to grow. And so this is making the job market more and more competitive. So if you currently have a job, number one, you should feel very grateful. Number two, you should get your resume ready and you should start networking. Because if you get into this job market, you're going to feel just how brutal it really is.
Corporate America. I work in tech, but I'm not sure if this is because of AI that everyone is losing their jobs. Please let me know. This is the recent data of the current US employment job creation. You can see here, this is the latest one, which is July. We had added around 73K of payrolls in the US. These are for non-farming payrolls. And then you can see in May and June, we recently just adjusted the number. We slashed around 125K in May and similarly in June. So you can see the whole downward trend from 2022 to 2025. Seems like we're in a very soft job market. What do you think? A little bit concerned to me. Tell me and comment below.
So on today's episode of How Fucked Am I? Me and my husband are both unemployed. I am by choice. I'm a stay-at-home mom to twins who are under the age of 5. So daycare would cost more than what I would even make. He was laid off. He was in the tech industry. He was laid off about 3 months ago and he hasn't had any bite. We have a mortgage and we have debt and we have bills to pay. We're trying to figure out, how are we going to survive in this system? But do we even want to survive in this system? And we don't want to fucking pay taxes to genocide. We don't want to do this anymore. We don't want to send our kids to school to get unalived. We don't want to send them to school to learn about bullshit systems that aren't even going to help them. The American dream is dead. What are we getting out of it? We're renting our life from banks and insurance companies and the healthcare industry. So do I just like sell the house? Do we just try and get as much equity as we can? Just go find a visa somewhere, hopefully somewhere will take us? Do we, we're just like starting over. I feel like I'm a child. I feel like I'm starting all over from the beginning again, finding out a new career path. I was a lash artist since 2012, and it's like I can't charge people $90 for a fill. Like, who's gonna pay that in this economy? It's just like, do we just buy a trailer and go live off the land? I don't know anymore. Like, I'm fucking crashing out.